Welcome to another episode of No Talking During the Movies. I am your host, Stephen Austin.
And I am your co-host, Tank.
Tank is tired because he's a good future soon-to-be father, and I'm tired because I was playing Fortnite until 4 a.m. last night. So our lives are relatively the same. Just about a little bit.
Yeah, I mean I would equate those two things for sure.
That's what I figured.
Absolutely.
Tank, we got some good trailers. This week.
I agree. I think we're starting to finally get some of these things that are, have been in the can, are gonna finally start coming out, and There's probably been some stuff that we didn't even know about that they put on pause
because of
they're
COVID.
Gonna start
yeah,
rolling out. Yeah,
totally.
So
totally.
And the summer blockbuster's back, so that's great news.
Can I ask you a question? And
Sure.
This is only just because I'm just now noticing it.
Uh-huh.
Are you wearing a hoodie?
I am wearing a hoodie.
And you also have your fan going?
Well, it's a sleeveless hoodie.
Oh, okay. Because I can hear the fan just slightly, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
will that be annoying? It's not a huge deal, But then I was also like, this guy's wearing a hoodie. I couldn't tell it was sleeveless.
Part of the reason I wear a hoodie is because hoodies are good at hiding fat.
Oh.
But it also makes it hot, so you got to kind of.
Why do you think I like wearing hoodies? Because I don't know why I like wearing hoodies. I just wear them.
I feel like you get cold like a lady. Like, how women get cold all the time.
No, I don't. I'm like you, where I'm like, I would keep my AC like ridiculously cold, so I have an excuse to wear hoodies. But that's still like, I don't get cold, but I have to make it cold so I can wear hoodies.
I found out today the ideal temperature to keep it where the baby sleeps is 68 to 72.
Hey,
It's the ideal temperature.
So you're gonna be in Coldsville. Well,
Yeah.
Is that warmer for you? That's a little warmer for you. Actually.
It's warmer for me, but since we moved into the house from the apartment, I've turned it up because the apartment we lived in, it was a newer complex, and I was the only person that ever lived there. So I would keep it at 64, and the bill was fine because it wasn't big and it was an apartment.
Gotcha.
But the house is bigger, a lot more places for the drafting to go, and you lose a lot more. So it would be more expensive. Plus, if I run the shit out of my air conditioner and it breaks down, I have to repair it. So
that's right. You have to repair it yourself.
This has been air conditioning talk on No Talking During the Movies.
Yeah, we tease like these amazing trailers, and we're like, hey, let's talk about the weather.
Here's the thing. I think maybe to kind of dull people's senses before we talk about the ridiculous that is the Fast and Furious 9. I feel like we kind of should.
Because we're gonna go from like super lowball to like super hype because it's so dumb and ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
What
do you want to start with? Which one are you going to start with?
Well, I was actually going to ask you, like, which one are you most... I want you to do the one that you're most excited for. You personally sent me The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, but I have a feeling you're most excited for Fast 9.
Oh, no. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Is the one you're most... Okay, all right, let's go with that one then. Let's go with that one.
I'm terribly excited about that. The first movie, The Hitman's Bodyguard, was incredible.
It's very good.
And just very funny Sam Jackson. Ryan Reynolds is always funny.
Of course.
Good action, like really, really good action, and just a terrific movie. And this movie looks like, you can't really go wrong.
Can we talk about the fact that Ryan Reynolds is like, he can't be a bodyguard? Right. Like he's just like, I'm on a sabbatical. I can't see blood. I can't shoot a gun. Like, so good.
So good.
It makes it. That's the kind of things that sequels need. It's kind of like how Spider-Man 2, it was him struggling with like not having a superpower, and that was like the thing of the movie. With Ryan Reynolds in this one, it's I can't kill people, and that becomes like so fun. Especially that what was the joke in the clip where he pepper sprays the guy, and Sam Jackson just shoots him.
There's blood everywhere.
It's so good.
Beautiful. And that relationship in the first movie, the Sam Jackson and Ryan Reynolds, it was so good.
So funny.
Such good chemistry and so funny. Darius Kincaid is a great character, so I'm excited.
Who would have thought that was like a chemistry on screen we like had been missing for so long?
I don't know.
It makes me want to see like a Deadpool and Nick Fury on screen together.
That'd be pretty awesome to see the seriousness of a Nick Fury.
Exactly. And it could happen. That's the thing that's so exciting. It actually could happen now.
That would be amazing.
Be pretty incredible. But yeah, this looks like a ton of fun. We haven't even talked about the fact that Penelope Cruz is in it as am I wrong? Is that not Penelope Cruz?
I think it was Salma Hayek.
No. Is it?
As Sam Jackson's wife?
Am I wrong? I thought it was Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, you're wrong. I can tell you, because I have a bunch of socks named Salma Hayek.
All right, that's. I like how if you look it up, the first name that comes up is Frank Grillo. That's right, it is Salma Hayek. How did I get that wrong?
I don't know.
Look at some of these other people in this.
Not similar.
Dude, there's a lot of big names in this movie.
It looks great.
Morgan Freeman's in this movie.
Is he?
He's listed on the cast.
Wow, that's amazing.
Antonio Banderas. This is gonna be like Kingsman 2, like where they just throw a bunch of like big names in there randomly. I'm in. Yeah, that's crazy. But yes, it looks really good. It looks a lot of fun. I'm super excited for it.
Well, you know what's funny? It's Desperado starring Antonio Banderas. Salma Hayek gets naked.
That's right. Oh,
and
I wasn't.
What if this is a shared universe and Salma Hayek is the character that was dating Antonio Banderas?
Hold on, her name might be on the cast list. Like, this could be a spoiler though. Is this like a potential for a spoiler for a movie that hasn't come out yet?
But if we found it out without even trying,
that's true. Hold on, her name in Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is Sonia Kincaid. All right, so Desperado. Hold on. I'm gonna find this out. Say something while I'm searching, please, for the love of God.
Yeah. So I'm just very curious. The Darius Kincaid are. Okay, damn it.
Her name's Carolina in Desperado. Who knows? Who knows? Could have changed your name.
Yeah, she was in a great scene in that movie where she was.
All right. So
naked. But yeah, I'm stoked about this movie. I in my opinion, Ryan Reynolds can do no wrong. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I even give him a pass on Green Lantern. So.
But I mean, like, even he, like, that's the thing about Green Lantern. That movie was bad. He was still good in it. Like, he was good in it. Yeah, exactly. Like, remember that? I always laugh at that scene. They put it in every trailer for Green Lantern, but it's him, like, turning on the suit in front of his friend. And he's literally like, right? Like, he just makes this horrifying noise. It's really good. Like, his performance is great for a really bad movie, but then again, also, if they were going to do a Green Lantern movie, it needs to be Jon Stewart and not Hal Jordan. Yeah. Anyways, but, yeah, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard looks really great. And what was the song that they used for the trailer? Was that,
I don't
Hit
remember.
Me, Baby, One More Time?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then, of course, the trailer for the first one, so memorable, they used the song from The Bodyguard, the most famous song. And I will always love you. Oh, so good.
So good.
They know how to be silly.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be really
awesome.
good. All right, we're going to talk about the movie I'm most excited for now. Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead looks awesome. It looks like a video game.
It does look like a video game. However, and it's so funny. Speaking of video games, our boy Justin, who got married yesterday, good for him. Happy for him. I've taken over a lot of his responsibilities, so there's a little bit of scorn there. But he texted me as I'm asking him, like, work-related stuff. I'm like, yo, I need help with this. Like, how is this going to be? How is this going to be? And he's sending me, like, text after text after text of all these helpful tips. And then in the middle, in between, like, a bunch of things that I'm going to have to go back and look at, he sends me the trailer that I've already seen for Army of the Dead and goes, this is going to be the best zombie movie of all time.
Oh, like, wow.
No cap, which means no lie for the kids these days.
That's a bold statement.
That's a very bold statement. And I told him, look, man, I'm very excited. It looks really fun, except the issue that I have with it is the fact that they have smart zombies in this movie. Like, they're smart. They're like MMA fighting zombies. And all I'm thinking is, like, that already loses brownie points for me. Like,
and I believe there's like tiger zombies.
There's a zombie tiger. Too. That's fine. That's fine. That I'm okay with. I'm okay with zombie animals because that makes sense. If it just affects biological beings as like as a virus or something, that's fine.
Fair enough.
I just hate stuff when it's like Yes, and it made them like be able to jump high. Like I hate World War Z zombies. Like the movie's fine, but I hate those zombies because it's just like that's not zombies to me. Zombies are slow moving. They are dumb, but the reason why they can get the better of you is because there's so many of them. Like that's the whole point of zombies.
I get the philosophy though, because I feel like almost anybody could outdo. Even if there's a bunch of them, you just got to find a way to get somewhere where they can't get to.
Sure, that's fine. But the thing is, like, that's how they always, like, get the better of you. That's the entire plot of, what is it, Dawn of the Dead? Which one was it where they're stuck in the mall? They're stuck in a mall. They can't leave. They are smart because they have gotten to a place where zombies can't get to, but then what do you do? Like, that's the whole point of the survival aspect.
Well, like, what else you got to do?
It's you like die on a roof?
It's like Zombieland 2, where they have created a community that the zombies can't get into.
Sure, but eventually somebody needs to leave. Can we talk about in Zombieland 2 how they make them, like, melt down their guns and turn it into, like, peace signs?
Peace medallions?
So funny. That movie's okay, but I loved it.
The first one was great.
The first one's perfect.
Was funny, but not great.
First one might be my favorite zombie movie.
It might be the best one.
It might be the best zombie movie of all time. If we're going to put, like, again, haven't seen Army of the Dead. It looks fun. It looks like they're going to have fun. Zack Snyder probably is going to make it, 3.5 hours and half of it's going to be just slow motion, but either way.
It looks like he just reused his Suicide Squad clip art for all the...
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Look, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
However, smart zombies already, like, are pegged down for me. Like, sure. My golden standard for zombies are Walking Dead zombies. Like, those are, they're unstoppable. That's the whole point, unless you destroy the brain. That is what zombies are for me.
I still love Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead's great. Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, one of the most scary, like, because they're just stuck in a house, and
right.
I mean, it's really good.
And for those who maybe want to at me because I just realized this, yes, I realized Dawn of the Dead, there was a remake by Zack Snyder, and he did a great job in that one, but I just don't remember him being over enthusiastic about slow motion like he is these days. So that's what I mean by he might ruin it now. I'm aware that he did the remake. But no, it looks like a lot of fun. Zombie Tiger, I'm totally fine with. It looks like that looks like great. Dave Bautista is in it, and
yeah, I love him.
He looks like he's going to sell it as, like, the leading man. And I like the idea that this is, like, a world where it looks like Las Vegas has just been taken over by zombies. They put a fence up around it, and then they just, like, contained it, and they're going into it.
That's the smart way to do it. I mean, like, they're going in to try to. It looks like it's a heist movie and a zombie movie wrapped into one.
Yeah, very smart. Because that's what I was thinking when, like, the trailers first started coming out, where I was like, what's the point of stealing money if you're living in a zombie apocalypse? But then I realized, oh, it's not a zombie apocalypse. Like, they're living in a post-world where zombies have existed, and they've taken over Vegas, and there's just no way to get in now.
Right.
Because it's just surrounded. So that's where you can have fun with the zombie tiger, and, like, who you could see, like, a zombie, like, showgirl that was out, like, on the street and stuff. Like, that's fun. I like that. And they're gonna have a lot of fun, like, with the costumes and the scenery. I immediately loved the shot of, like, Dave Bautista with his gun, like, jumping over roulette tables and stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. That's fun.
I when I was in Vegas, I was a younger man, and I took a picture with a Britney Spears impersonator. I didn't know that you were supposed to give them money. Just, oh my God, you look pretty serious. Look at a picture, and I took the picture and I just walked off. And that was a long time ago, and I still feel bad about it.
Do you still have the picture?
I do somewhere, yeah.
You got put that, make that one of your social posts for the week. Just put it on Eagle's page and be like, help me find this Britney Spears person. I still need to pay her $10 for the picture. Do it.
I might. I gotta find the picture.
You're welcome. I'm your social media guru.
You're like my social conscience too.
Yeah, that's really what I am. Hey, you want to talk about Fast 9?
Here's the thing. This shit makes me so angry.
Does it?
It does. Because it's so ridiculous. Like, it's gotten more ridiculous. We started as street racers. Now we're international space detectives. And I don't understand how you make that leap. Honest to God,
Because
I don't.
they're aware of it now. They're so aware of it.
In the trailer, he catches a car.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Uses a hook to wrap around his tires so he can swing a car across a rock like goddamn Tarzan. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Flips over a truck doing an endo.
Yep.
Turns the car into a rocket ship so that Ludacris and Tyrese can go into space.
Yep.
Okay. What else? And that's just the beginning. Charlize Theron has a simple Jack haircut.
Oh, it was better than her haircut in the last one.
No, it isn't. What? It's considerably worse.
All right.
And all of these things that we're talking about, far more believable than John Cena and Vin Diesel sharing a strand of DNA, let alone being brothers.
Did you know Vin Diesel says he has a secret like Dom shrine, and he felt Paul Walker's like spirit telling him that John Cena needed to play his brother when he was in his Dom shrine. This is real. He told this to a news outlet.
Remember when he released an album?
No, Vin Diesel released an album,
or at least a song.
Oh,
this
wow.
This is the second worst thing that he's ever came up with after that album, because this is silliness. I mean, sure, if you want to bring somebody in, that's fine, but to be like, oh, that's Dom's brother, really? What do they have different moms and dads? You know what I mean? Like, how are they brothers?
I don't know. You know what though? I bet you the end of this movie is going to be them like reconciling and everything, and it's gonna be like,
oh, and then he's gonna be part of the team now
because it's all about family.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I made my family, but what happens when I'm against my real family? And then the families come together.
But
why are they going in space?
I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and within that quarter mile, I sink a submarine, I fight a battleship.
I like how they even joked about that. They're like, we've taken on, tanks. Don't even get me started about the submarine.
The magnet thing they're doing now. They dragged I don't know, like 16-ton safes through the streets of Brazil.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
With 600 horsepower cars.
Did you know how they did that shot, by the way? Because they did it practically.
Did they really?
They did that practically. But the safe was a car.
Well, that makes sense.
But it's like they still had hooks on it and pulled it around and stuff.
I feel like you know way too much about this movie.
I don't know way too much about that movie. I like the effects and stuff. And that was something that when I learned that they did that practically, I was like, that's really cool.
He caught a car.
Yeah.
He's a regular guy.
No, he's not. He's Dom.
He is. No, he's a regular guy. He's a dirtbag street racer who, by the way, is 55 years old now. He's just some dirtbag from the valley. You know what I mean? He's not Iron Man. I don't know why they keep doing this. That said, I'm still going to see it.
You have to admit, that clip at the end with him putting on the duct tape on his spacesuit, and he's like, duct tape? Really?
I'm still gonna see it.
We know they're going to space. The next movie is gonna be way more heavily space involved. This movie's just teasing it.
Fast and Furious from the moon.
No. They're gonna. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna do a callback to another movie, and that movie is Friday the 13th, and they're gonna call it Fast X.
I was going to say
Roman numeral X.
I was going to say bring back DMX, but that's sad because I forgot he died.
Oh.
And now I'm sad again.
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Thanks a lot.
I didn't do that. Oh, but you know what they can do? You know what they can do for Fast X? Bring in Dom's twin brother, and then it's Triple X.
His twin brother, a 38-year-old Swedish model who's 6'10".
No. It's a twin brother, and it's him, and it's Triple X for Fast X, and then they connect the universes.
That was another silliness. Triple X 2, 3, but we won't get into that. I'm just saying, my man is old now, and
It's true.
look, it's just it's too much.
It is.
It's too much. Everything that they're doing is just it's like stop.
I agree with you.
Stop. He caught a car.
I agree with you.
He caught a car.
Yes, Tank. I agree with you.
Kong versus Godzilla was more based in reality.
Please,
than
Godzilla versus Kong. Please.
Whatever. There's more based in reality than
you
these
have to
movies
respect
are
the
now.
name, Bill. That actually is kind of sad when like your street racing movie is now on par with Godzilla versus King Kong.
Like, what? Like they're all science geniuses now? I mean, like, Jesus.
People love the movies, man.
And Han is back, and I love Han.
Back. Yeah.
See, like, I look, I still like all the movies, and I'll watch them all because I'm stupid and I'm a guy and I like stupid guy stuff. But like, I really liked. Tokyo Drift wasn't as good because Shane Black is hard to watch. Yep. But everybody else in that movie was killer. You know what I mean? I loved Han. I loved DK. He's a good bad guy. Yeah. You know, it was a good movie outside of the lead character.
Can I just talk about how you're like, I like it because I'm a guy and I like this stupid guy stuff, and then also you're the guy who will like watch every romantic comedy known to man.
I'm secure in my manhood.
I love it.
I'll watch almost anything.
That is true.
I spent the last day and a half watching Love Island UK with my wife on Hulu. Gotta tell you, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
And then not too long ago, you watched all the Twilight films.
Yeah, but those were the worst thing I've ever seen.
I was gonna say.
That was a situation where I had to watch a movie because I had to know what happens. You know what I mean? Like my wife was watching the first one, and I was like, "Hey, so tell me about this." And I can't trust her to tell me how stuff works.
Sure.
She's not the brightest. So I had to watch for myself to see what happened. No, let me tell you. This morning, I was going to get coffee. Right?
Do not complain about your wife.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
All right.
So this morning I was going to get coffee. Right?
Brass tacks.
No, I was just going up the street to Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
And she called me and she said, hey, she needed to hook her computer up to the TV for the baby class. Right?
I didn't even think about the fact that this was virtual. I don't know why that didn't even come into my head. But okay, go on.
It's a simple thing. You just take HDMI cables.
Yeah. Plug in the computer to the TV.
She goes, how does this work? And I go, what? And she goes, how do you make this work? I'm like, I don't know. Don't touch my TV until I get back. I was in the driveway. I'm back. Don't touch it. So I come back. She hooked the HDMI cable that was plugged into the back of the TV to her computer. Yeah.
So she realized that the TV technically wasn't connected to anything at that point. She just connected like the cable box to your computer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I do have a bit of a surprise good movie though. If people want to check it out, if we're talking about surprises.
Is this our recommendation segment?
No, this isn't a recommendation.
Oh,
I have another recommendation.
Okay, yeah. Lay it on me.
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
That's right. You were talking about that the other day to me.
It's surprisingly funny.
And then I wasn't sure, and I brought it up to you, and I don't think you're sure either. Is that an SNL bit that they made into a movie?
I'm not sure.
I feel like it is, because, like, where do they get these characters from? There's not, like, an old Barb and Star movie.
It's really funny, though. It's really surprisingly funny. Kristen Wiig I expected it to be funny.
Sure.
When I say surprisingly, it was funny in a way that I didn't really get from the trailer.
It's not like Hangover or like Bridesmaids funny.
No, it's definitely not gross out funny.
That's the humor I was trying to think of. No. The trailer kind of presents it that way though.
No, there's just like it's kind of absurd. Like a lot of it's really, really absurd.
Then really, I should love it because my comedy
really
is
do
absurd.
think you might love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think you might. It opens with this little kid. He's riding around, throwing newspapers, and he's singing to air. We can't build this. I mean, like I don't know what I can't remember. I think you might actually really like it. That's why I suggested it for you.
All right, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it. What did you watch it on? Was it on cable?
It was on demand, I paid to rent it. But I wanted to rent Nobody because Nobody's out to rent.
Yeah.
But they want $20 for it, so they can kiss my entire ass on that.
Hopefully, it'll come to a streaming service soon, so we can watch it and talk about it on the podcast. Because I definitely want to do that. Because the entire time we're just gonna be comparing it to John Wick.
I mean, like, it's such a John Wick style movie.
Like,
it's done by the guy who did John Wick.
Well, exactly. And Bob Odenkirk essentially like came up to him and he was like, "Hey, I want to do a John Wick movie," and they did.
Looks awesome.
It's pretty great. All right, that's gonna do it for trailers. Tank, what do you say we get into some news?
I love it.
All right. Well, I know what else you love, and that's
boobs.
I was gonna say Snake Eyes, but we can talk about boobs if you want. You want to talk about boobs? Let's talk about here's our whole segment on nudity in film. No, let's talk about Snake Eyes. You're super excited for this.
I am really excited. So this is a passion for me because I've been a G.I. Joe fan since I was a small child.
Small boy.
And Snake Eyes has always been one of my favorites. Quick Kick isn't probably my favorite. But Quick Kick didn't achieve nearly the
recognition.
Stars.
Sure.
Yeah, Snake Eyes is where it's at, and Snake Eyes has got a very interesting story. And the original Snake Eyes story was he was in Vietnam, and he was in a helicopter accident, and he saved Scarlet, which is why he can't talk.
Oh, okay.
Messed up his face and messed up his voice, so he can't talk. So that's why he wears a mask. That's why he doesn't talk. But his story is amazing. It's weird because the way that they started the story out was just a way to put something on the back of the cards of action figures. They just created the whole story of all these G.I. Joes.
Right.
And then they just built around it. But they did something really smart. They went to comic book writers and they said, hey, make these stories. And that's what they did. And Snake Eyes has a really great backstory. So there's another G.I. Joe that's his arch nemesis. His name is Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow, that's right.
He's the Cobra Ninja.
He's dressed in white, right?
All white.
Yeah, that's what I
And so the thing is, the only reason that Storm Shadow joined Cobra was to find Snake Eyes and kill him.
Oh, so they're like mortal enemies.
They're not mortal enemies. They were brothers. Not brothers.
Wow.
They weren't real brothers, but they were both. They were in the same ninja clan. Now, I don't know that this is going to be the story for.
Sure. They might change it. However, whatever you're saying right now, like they've got good source material to pull from.
But they do have the same characters.
Right.
So there's Hard Master, Soft Master. They were the heads of the ninja clan, and they're actually in the movie as well. So
that's awesome.
There was this other ninja guy named Firefly.
Okay.
And he killed Soft Master, right?
Right.
And he was able to mimic Snake Eyes' heartbeat so that Storm Shadow thought that Snake Eyes killed Soft Master.
The reason why I'm laughing right now is because I just pictured you telling your like 3-year-old daughter this stuff.
Just reading the comic book.
Yeah, exactly. Like once upon a time, a plane crashed in Vietnam. And in comes our hero, Snake Eyes. I just, oh my God.
So after that, that's when Snake Eyes joined the military and the wheels got in motion. And there's the whole thing. So it's really awesome, man. And it's just, I hope they don't mess it up the way they did the movies. The G.I. Joe. So
I'm excited to see what they do. I know you are too. The reason why this is news is because they announced that they have a July 23rd release date for this year.
So soon.
It is too soon because we don't have anything. We just know that it's happening. Like, we don't have a poster? We don't, like, is there a cast list? Did you look up a cast list?
Yeah, there's a cast list.
Okay, there's a cast list.
It's pretty good, too. The guy that's playing Snake Eyes was the lead from Crazy Rich Asians, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, let me see. I'll look it up while
I was gonna say. Talk. I know how when you look up stuff, your face just lights up. But yeah, no, like we have a cast list, but we don't have a poster, right? We just have a title, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a trailer, a teaser, nothing, and yet they still. And this is new. Like, this is actually news. This came out like a couple days ago. They said, "Hey, G.I. Joe." Snake Eyes, the movie, is coming out July 23rd. And I'm like, how is that possible?
There is a poster.
Is it a real, like, is it more than just like a black background with the title?
It's the black background with the title, but also the red insignia of the Ninja Clan.
That still sounds like something they would just like announce at Comic-Con with no real.
Possibly. Substance. Robert Schwinke is the director. He did. Oh no.
Oh no.
He did R.I.P.D. Oh no.
That's not good.
Not good.
That is no bueno.
So Samara Weaving is Hugo Weaving's daughter.
Oh.
She's playing Scarlet.
Okay.
Ursula Corbero is the Baroness. Henry Golding is the guy's name. He is I believe the lead. He's Snake Eyes. He's from Crazy Rich Asians.
Right. Great movie, by the way.
He was Dry Eye in The Gentleman, which also was a great movie.
Oh, okay.
This guy's blowing up, man. He was in that Last Christmas movie with Emilia Clarke, which was a terrible movie, but...
Hold on. What else is he going to do? Like, he's got some upcoming projects that
he
are
really
big,
does.
Right? Hold on.
He's getting real big. Andrew Koji is Storm Shadow. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, he's from Fast and Furious 6.
Oh.
Which...
Some of our favorites.
Yeah. Oh, he's from the TV show Warrior. He's in Peaky Blinders, American Gods.
American Gods is good.
Lot of TV. But that's exciting. Let's see, is there any other G.I. Joe characters so far?
Not that I'm seeing on the cast list.
You got Hard Master, Blind Master. No, nothing yet that indicates that, like a Duke or like a. But it's just crazy because like there's, us being so close to the release date of this movie
with no other news.
Like think they would want some sort of hype surrounding it, so they would try to.
Maybe they just expected to do better in a different market, and they're not even marketing it here.
Honestly, most movies these days are marketed harder in China.
Exactly. So that's why I'm thinking like maybe the marketing in China doesn't need to be as like prevalent as it is here. Like they're not expecting a lot of hype for G.I. Joe, so they'll market it to hell. Who knows? There could already be, marketing for China right now, like Chinese marketing out there.
I don't know. I feel like we would find it though.
I mean, maybe if you did like a Google image search, but again, it's like I just can't believe there's like not much. For us at least, because
I'm really excited, and I think that it's going to be the kind of thing where if they do it right, they could really make it good.
I think so. I think so too. They got plenty of good source material to pull from. I'm hoping that they treat these movies with more love, like these classic, like because they did it with Bumblebee. You know what I mean?
And that's going to be, I think, the shared universe. I think they're going to share a universe.
Transformers and G.I. Joe?
I believe so. I know that in the cartoons, they did share a universe. There was, in fact, a comic crossover of G.I. Joe versus Transformers.
That's crazy.
I know that they've talked about doing Mask.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
And Micronauts as a shared universe property in that era. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't need all that. I think
you're mostly interested in G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe is the Snake Eyes. If they just did Snake Eyes and made him interesting, I would be happy.
Right.
They do it right.
All All right. Well, real quick before we get to Falcon and Winter Soldier, I thought this would be very fun. So I learned recently what Steven Spielberg's favorite superhero movie is, and this is of all time. Like any superhero film could be Christopher Reeve's Superman, could be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, could be Steel with Shaq. Like it could be anything. So Tank, my boy, I want you to guess before I tell you. What do you think is Steven Spielberg's favorite superhero film?
It's probably something really, really stupid, like Chronicle.
Oh my God. No, it's not Chronicle. I'll give you two more guesses.
Okay. How about, is it...
Thinking long and hard about this.
Is it Blade?
It's not Blade.
Okay. One more.
One last guess. Would you like a hint, sir?
No, because I feel like that's unfair. I feel like I would get it if I get a hint. Is it Flash Gordon?
It is not Flash Gordon. The movie is from the MCU, though.
MCU?
It's from the MCU.
Oh, wow. So that's really interesting because a lot of other of the contemporaries get the MCU a lot of hate.
Yeah, it's true. And that's what shocks me.
All right, then I'm going to go with Captain America, the First Avenger.
No. However, that does not surprise me. His favorite film is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
How great is that?
That's a good pick.
Because it's such a good movie. I saw this great analyst the other day, by the way, about Guardians of the Galaxy, where it pointed out, like, the Avengers as a team, they're basically just a bunch of people who kick ass individually, and they just call themselves a team while they're all kicking ass individually. Like, in every action scene in the Avengers, it's mostly, like, them doing their own thing, and occasionally they'll cross over, but then it's them still, like, Hawkeye's shooting a bunch of people, Iron Man's flying around, Hulk's going crazy. Like, it's all just them on their own. Guardians of the Galaxy is a bunch of people who can't do well all the time on their own, but they exceed and they soar when they work together. Like, anytime that they do well is because they're working as a team.
You'd never see an individual movie come from that property.
It's true. Yeah.
You'd never see a Gamora movie or a Peter Quill movie, or, you know, I could see like maybe a Rocket and
Groot TV show, maybe
a TV show, maybe an origin story.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, sure.
But that's it. Like, other than that, man, that's absolutely a great point. That's a total. I mean, that's a legitimate team.
That is a legitimate team movie. And even when they're fighting with the Avengers, they're off doing their own thing because that's just how the Avengers work. But yeah, like, isn't that so? I just thought that analyst was so prevalent that, like, oh yeah, like, Guardians is a real team up movie.
When you say analyst, do you mean analysis?
It's the same thing. That's tomato.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's actually the same thing. It's spelt the same, you dum-dum.
You said it wrong.
You're saying it wrong.
You're saying it wrong.
You're saying it wrong.
Like my wife and the HDMI cable.
No, don't you start. I cannot believe. Analyst and analysis are the same thing.
But it sounds like you're saying analyst, which is a person who analyzes.
I get that, but no, I believe it's pronounced the same way, isn't it?
No, it's analysis.
No, I swear, whatever. No, I swear it could be. I swear it could be a tomato thing. No, who knows? I could just be dumb.
Look it up. After this, Google that shit.
I don't want to.
Google that.
I don't want to. Let's give our recommendations before we get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, please.
Fair enough. Got it.
What is your recommendation today?
I can't remember why we were talking about this. I just remember that we were talking about this. It may have been me and you and maybe one of your friends while we were playing online or something. Games. But I was talking about this movie Monster Squad, right? It's a movie from when I was a little kid. I was a little kid when this movie came out. It's from 1987, and it is like a group of kids who love monster magazines, love monster movies, and all that kind of thing, right? And they happen to be in the middle of a monster invasion in their sleepy little town. It's so funny. Nobody really super famous is in it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It didn't really get super huge, but It was a lot of fun, and especially for when I was a kid. The other night, it happened to be on cable. My wife and I sat there and watched it, and it created some of my favorite growing up lines, like "Wolfman's got nards," and "Is she a virgin?"
I'm looking at the poster. It looks funny. Like
it was funny.
I literally see Wolfman, Swamp, or not Swamp Thing, but like the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, and Dracula all standing around something in this photo.
Frankenstein's in it as well. And it's a good movie, man. Like it's enjoyable, and I think it's not for little bitty kids, but if you got a 10 or a 12-year-old kid, I think it's right up their alley, and the humor's good. So that's my recommendation: Monster Squad from 1987.
Let me ask you, sir, on IMDb, is it over or under a 6 out of 10?
Ooh. They're tough critics, so I'm gonna say under.
Under 6?
Yeah.
You'd be wrong.
Really?
It is at a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's solid. That's solid for them.
That's very solid.
That's high praise.
I'm not gonna lie, like explaining it the other night while we were gaming, not much interest. Explaining it now, a little bit more interest. Looking at IMDb, I'm like, this is probably a good movie.
I have it on Blu-ray if you'd like to borrow it.
Ooh, maybe when I swing by for some of those steaks.
So yeah, there you go. So you don't have to pay $4 for the rental.
That works for me.
But yeah, so I mean,
but instead I'll pay $20 in gas to get there.
you gotta get you a hybrid, bro. It's a far drive. It's a far. You need a sailboat.
Oh my God! I'll get a canoe.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Yeah, get some real work going in there.
Davy Crockett style.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation for the day is a TV show I started watching just because the premise seemed very interesting, and I had a couple of friends recommend it to me. You would probably like it because, first off, this is you've probably heard of the show. It's called Outlander. Have you heard of Outlander?
I have heard of Outlander.
Okay, so Outlander is a World War II nurse after the end of World War II. Essentially goes on her honeymoon. Like a second honeymoon in Scotland, and through some weird like magic ritual thing, she gets blasted back into the 18th century, into like the high era of like Scottish like rebellion between like the King of England and the clans fighting each other, and it's her essentially trying to navigate through that world. So her like very limited knowledge that she remembers about the area is coming in handy. Her skills as a nurse, which is a word that is foreign to them, so she has to call herself a healer. Some people perceive her as a witch. Like, it's a very, very good series. And at the same time, there's just like very enjoyable characters, really cool intrigue, and at the same time, it is historically accurate. So like the events that she's living through all really happened. So I have had plenty of friends tell me, I love the show, and it taught me a lot about history. And I'm like,
what more can you ask for?
That's fun. It is a mature show, so there's plenty of, it can get gory at times. It can get very, nudity heavy at times.
Yeah!
But I knew you'd love that. But no, realistic, like, it is a legitimately good show. It's not like action in every episode. It's not like Game of Thrones heavy, but there's some really good drama going on and some very interesting situations that they have to deal with where, bloodlines of people she knew in her present day are coming into contact with her in this past.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very cool. So, and this isn't giving away anything. This is all in episode 1, like some of this stuff. So I highly recommend it. I've watched the first season and a half, and I'm very much enjoying it. The second season has been a ride of emotions. So, no, it's good. I think you'd like it. I think you'd legitimately like it.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my recommendation. Really good ones today. I really want to check out Monster Squad now.
You're gonna like it, man. You're gonna like it, I think.
I have a feeling. And I gotta check out Barb and Star. Maybe a double feature.
There you go.
Weirdest double feature of all time.
I mean, it'd be pretty weird, but
it'd be pretty odd. But okay, let's get to our review of Falcon and Winter Soldier, Episode 5. Now, we're going to go right into spoilers because I don't think we can actually talk about this episode without talking about spoilers, other than the fact that it was good. It was very enjoyable. It was a very emotional episode, and it's really getting us ready for this hell of a season finale, I'm sure.
Final showdown. This is the second to last episode.
Yep.
So I found the action and the setup. I found that the setup was so good for whatever we've got coming up next.
Literally, the next episode's going to be crazy in so many ways. I'm so excited for it. But okay, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Get out of here, Tank. What did you think of the opening of the episode after the repercussions of John Walker just murdering a man in broad daylight? Picked
up essentially where we left off.
Yeah.
He's running. And, I mean, like, it's so good the way they do this show. How well they've, like, set up these characters. You know what I mean? Like, this guy has been, and you learn later in the trial when he's on, you know, or the hearing or whatever thing. But he feels like he did the right thing.
Yeah, he legitimately does.
Even though he knows it's wrong. And then looking at, you know, you got when Sam and Bucky come in to get the shield from him and take him in. Dude, that is a powerful, powerful scene.
By the way, my prediction of this episode was that Sam was still going to let him go with the shield. Bucky was not going to be okay with it, and then Bucky was going to take the shield and give it to Sam. That was my prediction for this episode. But when the episode started with both of them walking in and Sam going, "You're going to need to give me that shield," I was like, yeah, do it, take it. Like, oh, it's
see, but again, he wasn't taking it for himself.
No. It was because he knows that it can't be in his hands.
It literally had some other guy's brains all over it.
Crazy.
And he needed to get that from him. Even after he took it, he still didn't want it. And when he took it to Isaiah Bradley. So this whole moment of a scene, you know what I mean? The guy.
Are we going to Isaiah Bradley now?
I mean, I feel like that's the next thing that happens, right? Like,
there's a little bit of time. We could talk about the fight scene, but we're gonna be jumping all over anyways. If you want to talk about.
No, let's keep going on the fight scene. Because the fight scene was awesome,
incredible, showing how smart Sam is with those wings.
Not only that, but like how strong John Walker has become.
With that
he's
super
a
soldier serum.
Super soldier.
Yep.
And that's a problem. And Bucky still holding back. You can tell he's still holding back. And when he ripped his wings off, I know it's not attached to Sam's body, but it felt like it was. It felt like he ripped Sam's arms off.
Dude, later in the episode where he gives it to what is it, Torres?
Elias, yeah.
Yeah, and he says keep them. And I was just like,
yeah.
Those are your wings, bro. Which,
I mean, he broke them, and it was like that was like part of him, and for him to break them like that, I think really kind of gave Sam pause about where his place in all of this is.
Yeah, I think. Well, that was the hero's journey where he has officially Sam, even though he won that fight, like nobody really won that fight. Really.
No, they didn't want to have to do what they had to do.
No, like,
and then
even the final shot, like before, like they move out of there, it's all three of them on the ground, like with the shield in between them all. Like, Nobody won that fight.
No,
everybody was broken at the end of that fight, which is it's crazy. Like, John is broken for obvious reasons. He's officially been stripped of the shield. He murdered a man. You know, he lost his best friend.
His arm got snapped like a piece of balsa wood.
God, can we talk? When that happened, I was like, did they just break his arm?
That was brutal. That was brutal.
Never saw Cap's arm get broken. Didn't think that was possible.
No, and it's a wild. I mean, like, it's more kind of like groundbreaking stuff that they're doing on this show.
For real, yeah.
And I mean, you could kind of see that. So, you know, the brutality of the fight was like so, like, really well done. Yeah. And you could feel it. You know what I mean? Like,
John, by the way, after he ripped off Sam's wings, he was going to kill Sam. Like
he was going to kill Sam.
He lifted the shield back up, like gonna do it again, and then Bucky came in for the win. When the fight was over, Bucky, throws the shield down next to Sam, and he leaves. He's done with all of it. He's gonna go get Zemo. John is, I'm sure, passed out on the ground. And Sam, he picks up that shield, and it is like, it's kind of heartbreaking watching him try to wipe the blood off of his best friend's like legacy, essentially.
And it's not, you know what it is? It's like blood, metaphorically as well as literally, doesn't come off so easily.
Yeah, 100%.
That's, I mean, and the idea that I found it very appropriate that something that like is so representative.
Mm-hmm. It's literally the blood is on the American flag.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The stars and stripes in the pursuit of freedom, if you want to call it that.
Sure.
With the blood stains on its hands, essentially.
It's hard. It's so hard. But like they told me, like they gave everybody a heads up. They're like, hey, there's going to be a cameo in this episode, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then they also said, by the way, you're gonna get emotional at this episode, and it's so hard not to. And we'll talk about that. So somebody else also mentioned, by the way, that how different can John Walker be from the ideals or the goals? Not necessarily the goals, but the way he achieves his goals as the Flag Smashers when he is smashing a Flag Smasher with a flag.
I mean, it's a solid point. And honestly, he at the trial made the point himself. You trained me to do this. This is what you told me to do.
Right.
I've lived my life by this.
You made me, is what he says.
You made me. And then when I do what you made me to do, you want to get angry because of the optics are bad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's in the light of day instead of under cover of dark like it's normally been. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I thought that was something else, man. Just so good. A lot of the acting in this series has been
amazing,
tremendous, dude.
Yeah,
tremendous.
All right. Sam goes and talks to Isaiah, which, by the way, before we get into it, I did want to say the name of this episode is Truth, which is also the name of Isaiah Bradley's comic run. His first edition is, I think it's Red, White, and Freedom Truth. I think that's what it's called. But it, in big, bold letters on his comic, it says Truth, which is also the name of this comic, which I think is very prevalent because we are actually finally, thankfully, because he's such a small role in this show, but with such a big meaning, learning the backstory and the history of Isaiah Bradley.
I've been seeing a lot of people online talking about how they're upset because it's tackling social issues.
Too political. I saw your comment on Facebook. On my way in here today, I saw some person's comment on some post, and it said they were a top fan and said how much they loved WandaVision because it's spectacular, but this is just like nobody's story is interesting, and other than Bucky's, and it's too political. Don't like dealing with those social issues. Blah blah blah. And then right under it, I see Tank's name saying, "You don't have to watch it."
I mean, it's just one of those things where, look, comic books from their onset have tackled political issues.
So is the MCU, by the way.
Whether it's about prohibition, whether it's about the first Captain America was Captain America fighting Hitler before America had gotten in the war.
It's true.
So that was a political position, saying that America should get into the war. So to say, first of all, everything that he talked about, that Isaiah Bradley talked about, actually happened. They injected African-American troops and soldiers with syphilis.
To do studies on them.
Did experiments on human beings.
Did not tell them, by the way.
Didn't tell. They told them they were.
It was tetanus, right?
Yeah. So what he's talking about is based in reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gives you, if that doesn't give you pause to think about complaining that something's political, think about how nobody knew about Black Wall Street until the TV show
Watchmen. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is stuff that needs to come out to the light of day, that we need to talk about. And if it's got to come out in the MCU, God damn it, it's got to come out in the MCU.
Right.
Because this actually is something that happened.
Because
they called it the Tuskegee experiment, named after Tuskegee. Like, and to me, we'll get into this theme later, but to me, I thought that his character was so heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Because he's lost hope. You know what I mean? They left him with nothing. His American dream never got to exist. And now he's just bitter, and he can never find faith in his flag again.
Yeah. Saying the people who say the show is too political are the same people who don't want to have these conversations and don't want them brought to light. And it's heartbreaking that people like that still exist, honestly. But the fact of the matter is, Isaiah Bradley was the first Black Captain America in the comics and in the MCU. And it's so heartbreaking that, you know, it's good, but it's still heartbreaking that they tell his story so well. Everything he says, by the way, is just about accurate to how it is in the comics. He was experimented on. They were trying to recreate super soldiers. They didn't want to sacrifice white soldiers' lives, so they experimented on black soldiers, and Isaiah Bradley and a couple others were the only successful ones. And in the comics and in the MCU, because they confirmed it, his fellow soldiers, they got caught in enemy lines, and he broke out and did a rescue mission. In the comics, he actually steals a Captain America outfit, which, you know, is where he gets his look. And then he goes and saves them. And then because of that, in the MCU, because of him rescuing his fellow man, they put him in jail and experiment on him for 30 years, which, by the way, is the same thing Captain America did in his movie. He went and saved other soldiers, and he wasn't court-martialed. He became the leader of his own squadron.
Yep.
Pretty.
And it's super. It's super like compelling when you're looking at Sam as a character study of a guy who's stuck between the two worlds that he's stuck between, because he knows that Steve wasn't that guy. Steve represented the best of who we're supposed to be.
That was my favorite part of the previous episode, by the way, is Zemo saying the super soldier serum is designed, if you want it, you have supremacist ideals because you want to be better than other people. And it like he even says Steve Rogers is the only one it worked for.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's the kind of man he was.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't want to do. He wanted to do his part. He wanted to contribute. That's why he initially signed up for the experiment. You know, and he lived by that, and he died by that.
Yeah.
And I think that Sam knows that, and Sam sees the good, and Sam sees the potential in who we could be, and for a guy like Isaiah who's been through what he's been through, how could anybody see the bright side of anything after that?
He says the words, which is so prevalent. He says they will never let a black man be Captain America, which, by the way, is not just in the MCU's universe. That's also in our universe. You know for a fact there's plenty of people who are going to check out when at the end of this series Sam is officially Captain America.
Well, you've already seen blowback from it. Not only that, but like I remember when they talked about it in real life, how many people were up in arms about it, or when you hear people talking about making a black Superman,
Black James Bond,
anything. it turns into an entire debate about, whatever. And, you know, whatever your argument is aside, that's not, when you're talking about something like, we're not talking about Steve Rogers race swapping. We're talking
about Sam Wilson, who
Captain
in
America.
the comics was Captain America. Bucky Barnes was also Captain America. Isaiah Bradley was Captain America.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the way it should be. You know what I mean? Like, this should be for everybody, and that's the point. And that is the point. That's the point of, like, what this is all supposed to be: freedom and justice for everybody, no matter where you're from, no matter what God you pray to. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, everybody's supposed to be getting a fair shake, and that's what the series is talking about. And if we're not talking about that, then we're just letting it happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's not okay. And I think that this is like one of the reasons that this is so amazing is because of all the things it's able to do at once, including have that conversation and be incredible action and be incredible performances. I mean, that scene when John Walker went to talk to Battlestar's parents, dude, that got me.
It was hard. And at the same time, he's lying to them.
He's lying to them, but in his mind,
he's trying to save them more pain.
He's trying to give them peace.
Right.
And not only that, but you're talking about a guy who lost his brother. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, those guys were in battle together. Yep. You know what I mean? They served wars together. This guy had his back for years. Mm-hmm. And he just lost him, and he's also suffering and in pain. And it's just, I think that, like, this is why the MCU is so good, because we have these multifaceted villains that we are allowed to feel for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though they do bad things, we still get to see that there's a human side to them. Are you
aware this entire past week people were defending what John Walker did at the end of the previous episode? Saying how it was justified, and I'm just like, is it though?
I'm not saying it's justified.
But like, here's the thing: he killed a guy who was not the guy who killed his best friend, who was innocent, who surrendered. That's the thing that people are like, no, it's fine.
Is he innocent?
He's innocent in that moment. He's got his hands up. He's saying it wasn't me. He is.
All right. Well, he's part of a terrorist group.
He's got his hands up. He's surrendering to him. By the way, also, that is the same character that earlier in that episode said he grew up loving Captain America and was literally killed by Captain America.
Oh, wow.
Breaks your heart, doesn't it? Like,
wow.
The show is so good.
Well, here's the thing. Once they cross the line for me, whatever happens to them happens to them.
Well, it's true. But also, all those decisions were all Carly. Like, they didn't want any of that. They still worked with her, obviously. But again,
I was gonna say, you can still walk away.
Totally fair. Again, when he's on the ground and he's got his hands up, I'm like, and in broad daylight, and it was no, like, justice. It was no Captain America. Steve Rogers wouldn't, like, even if the guy was a super soldier, Steve Rogers wouldn't be like, nope, gotta put him down. But this is because it's John Walker doing it, who was brought up in the American war situation that we've been in, and that's as he puts in this hearing, you made me. This is what I am now because of you.
He didn't kill that guy to take him off the chessboard.
No, he killed that guy because it was revenge.
It was revenge. Yeah. You take one of mine, I take one of yours.
Exactly.
I can't get to the person who actually did it, so I'm going to take this guy.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, because even though he had his hands up, the people that were in the building that got blown up, that they blew up,
sure,
they were tied up. Yep. So,
and that's the other thing. Like, the show was trying. Like, I think what I really like is the show was trying to basically say Carly could be redeemed, but John Walker can't be, kind of deal. I think this previous episode basically just confirmed Carly's.
She's irredeemable.
She's irredeemable now. She's going full villain. So now we've got Carly full villain, John Walker being his own vigilante. He's going to become This is how he's going to become a U.S. agent, I'm sure, with his own.
Is that his new character?
That's his title in the comics, is he becomes his own vigilante named U.S. agent.
That's a terrible name, by the way.
You think so? You think so?
I do.
I think that's I think it's an okay name for somebody who's literally trying to be Captain America. I think it works for the name. But yeah, it's a very interesting show and how they're handling all this stuff.
I think Freedom Ring is a better name than U.S. Agent.
Freedom what? Freedom Ring?
Freedom Ring, or Liberty Bell, or
You've been donged. Dong.
Or Amber Waves, or Purple Mountain's Majesty. Anything is better than U.S.
Agent.
It's so generic.
Hey, I mean, his best friend's name was Battlestar. Like
Battlestar was bad.
Battlestar was bad. Maybe he names himself that in honor of Battlestar.
I mean, that would be better than U.S. Agent. So all right, let's talk a little bit. Are we ready to get? Because there was, I think, two cameos this time.
2 cameos.
Would you consider Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
She's the cameo. She's the cameo.
But also, what about the French bad guy? You wouldn't consider that the cameo?
No, because he was introduced at the beginning of the series. He's been confirmed like he was going to be involved.
He was in Captain America Civil War.
Was in the first episode of this show.
Yeah. So that's not the cameo. Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. He was he was in Winter Soldier, but he's also in the first episode of this show, which is why I don't consider him a cameo.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which I think Dreyfus, she's the cameo.
She was so cool.
Yeah, which I know who she is in the comics. She's got a bunch of different aliases in the comics though. So like I could say one and I could be 1 out of 8 wrong. Like
Contessa Valentina.
Yeah, long freaking name, but honestly, I just like to call her Madam Hydra.
Is that who she is? Wow. Okay.
But also in the comics, she also in the comics. So who knows if they're doing this? She was also revealed way later to be a Skrull, which would set up more of Secret Invasion, which is what the end of WandaVision did. So I'm like, so exciting.
So much.
Gotta make the MCU a little bigger.
So interconnected.
It is.
I thought, dude, I loved her so much in that in her scene. She was so funny and so cool.
She was very good.
Oh man, I was blown away by her in that.
Hey, let's talk about the training montage.
All right, it was a good training montage.
That training montage, by the way, is what confirmed because this is a question I've been asked a couple of times recently. Is do you think Sam needs to take the super soldier serum to be Captain America? And I said, absolutely not. Sam can do it without it. Like, he's already Captain America. But I think this training montage is what confirmed, like, no, he doesn't need the super soldier serum. Sure, he's not going to be super strong. He's not going to have super strength. But he's already the man for the job.
Yeah, because Captain America isn't a vigilante. He's not out doing it by himself.
No.
He leads a team. That's the point of Captain America.
Sure. But I just mean, like, that was something people were telling me. They were like, no, he needs the super soldier serum so he can wield the shield and so he can actually have the title Captain America. He needs the super soldier serum. And I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah. He's already there. Somebody pointed out, by the way, this is so sad. The part of the training montage where he's running down that road and it's like in slow motion while he's running, the camera pans and it leaves an open space on his left.
Oh, on your left. Oh.
And then other people were like, no. That's how military does it. That's how most people do it. They run on the right side of the track and they're like, yeah. But the director panned and put him not in the center of the frame. He put him on the right side of the frame. Or on the left side of the frame, so there's an empty space on his left.
That's incredible.
Dude, show's so good. I like that it showed him struggling with the shield. I like that him and Bucky started to form this other bond. I like that we're probably not going to see Zemo again for a while, but we know he's involved. Like, because...
I loved him. That scene was really great, too.
It was. Especially, one, this is Bucky, crossing his name off his list, essentially. 2, Bucky, like, Zemo accepted that he was going to die, by the way. He was ready to. He was like, all right, here we go. shoots, nothing happens. Takes him to the raft, which, by the way, the raft is where they were in Civil War, like where they held like Captain America's team from Civil War. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who else is in the raft? Who has been confirmed is in the raft? Abomination.
No.
From the Incredible Hulk.
Really?
And they've confirmed he's going to show up for the She-Hulk series.
Wow.
God, this is the MCU is getting so much bigger, and I love it.
I thought what a moment for Bucky when he's making the statement, "I'm not a killer anymore."
Yeah.
And then they took him away, and man, just everything about this episode was just so good.
It's so good. Something I don't remember if I've said it on this on the podcast, but it's something that I realized, and I made a video about it. This show's title is their previous names. It's what they're becoming. It's what they're going to become that would make a difference. So somebody pointed out, like, oh, Kevin Feige's actually thinking about making a second season for this show, which would be awesome because they're, both of them together is so great. But this show is called Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's pretty basic, pretty standard name. Doesn't need to be that. Could be way better. But by the end of this show, Winter Soldier is going to be gone. It's going to be White Wolf. And Falcon is going to be Captain America.
Oh, wow.
Captain America and White Wolf.
Next season would be Captain America and White Wolf.
That's what I would hope for if they do that.
I mean, I love their chemistry together.
It's so good.
It's such a buddy cop show, especially when they were working on the boat.
And Bucky's hitting on his sister. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to Sarah.
Hi,
so good.
Bucky.
Why am I so out of focus?
Good.
Sorry.
Good stuff.
Making sure I was in focus. Okay, so last thing we're going to talk about is what's in the suitcase. What do you think is in the suitcase?
It's a new Captain America outfit with wings.
Yeah, it is. I bet you it is.
Yeah.
Which in the comics, by the way, the Wakandans are the ones who actually made Sam his suit.
Well, see, I like that because number one, I guess it's got the kinetic energy, stuff like that, makes him bulletproof.
We'll see if it has the kinetic energy that Black Panther had, but
it gives him powers without giving him powers.
Sure. Yep.
So I really like that, and they got an eye for design in Wakanda, so it's gonna be dope.
I am so excited to see it.
So excited.
They've been real good with not showing it off, but I'm like, oh, here we go. He's going to have wings. He's going to have the shield. Oh, this is going to be so great. I cannot wait for Friday.
Also, we've all but confirmed that Sharon Carter is the power broker, I feel like.
I don't know about that, though.
No?
I'm still a little, like, I think it's given that she's probably the power broker, but why would she hire Batroc, the Leaper, to help Carly when the power broker has been against Carly this whole time? That was the thing that confused me.
Well, maybe she's using her to kill her.
Could be, like, betray her. That was the thought that came into my head, that it could be like a double agent by the end of it all. But
still, if that's the case, it's hard. That's sad. Because I thought she was going to be in the, I thought she's going to be part of the team.
But somebody else pointed out, like, there's a high potential, like, she could secretly be working for Nick Fury. Like, still during all of this, because Nick Fury's got his contacts.
That's such a Nick Fury move.
It is. Like, even after S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, Nick Fury still had, like, Maria Hill on it, like, on his side the entire time. So why wouldn't Agent 13 be there too? So, yeah, dude, this show's so good. I cannot believe next week is the last time we're gonna get to talk about it. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna talk about it the week after, just as a full analysis of the entire show.
I can't believe, just when I thought that couldn't get any better than WandaVision, it just,
for real though. And like, I went into the first episode like I almost like had this little like it's not going to be better than WandaVision. Like, I almost had that mentality going in, but by the end of the first episode, I was like, damn it. And then by the third episode, I was like, the best show they've done. Yeah. Like, now I'm just thinking, like, am I going to have to go in with Loki, like, the same deal? Like, Loki, episode 1, I'm going to be like, no, better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Though I have a feeling Loki's not going to deal with prevalent race issues in America. So
I think this is the one that people are going to be looking forward to without that.
Yeah. God. So great. I'm excited to talk about it next week, but I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching on YouTube at No Talking During the Movies and following us on Instagram also at No Talking During the Movies. But I think that's going to do it for today. Tank, how are you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. I feel like we got a lot out there.
Yeah, we did. And this is a long episode. Section. This is a long episode, but I think it needs it for this past episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. But all right, once again, I am your host, Stephen Austin.
I'm your co-host, Tank.
And we will see you guys next week for the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's probably going to take up most of our time, honestly. But I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too.
Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.